Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And Madam Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Getsaido for bringing this important motion. And Madam Speaker, I think it's very notable that this motion is brought by Honorable Getsaido, who is a one-term proponent, and seconded by Honorable Irene Mayaka, a two-term proponent. Madam Speaker, I wanted to say this before I commence because I want our young people outside there to note that members of parliament are not taking PANGAS and cutting themselves. And I also want them to note that Honorable Getsaido is a man and has not raped Honorable Irene. They are members of parliament from different sides and are not killing each other. We are basically doing the work for the country. So don't allow yourself as a young person to be misused when you see honorable members in the House are doing totally the opposite of what you are doing out there as a young person. Madam Speaker, having said that, I want to speak very briefly to this, that on my way here, I actually saw some construction on the road. And I felt sad because that's what comes to my mind every time. That when I see this construction, I'm like, so who the hell is sitting here now? Because in Kenya, we hardly come up with the new things unless we want to make money out of it. Even though sometimes good comes out of it, and sometimes good doesn't come out of it. But when you see that we are giving the police new uniform, somebody wants to make money. You ask yourself, so what was wrong with the old uniform of the police? And Madam Speaker, if you see us changing education system, when we have not had a problem with the old one, it's because somebody wants to corruptly make money. And I've listened to Honorable Getsaido very carefully. And I'm actually shocked that some C1 schools are getting, the heads of some of the C1 schools are controlling close to 1 billion shillings a year. Madam Speaker, if I was corrupt, I would actually resign from being a member of parliament and go to become a principal of a C1 school. Because it's much easier then to get a lot of money. And when I listened to some of the members, I heard that this system, the education system, is controlled by cartels. And that is why, Madam Speaker, you see that, today there's a member of the County Assembly of Homa Bay was struggling to say a very simple English word, but he wants to become a member of parliament from a county assembly, cannot speak, cannot control, cannot communicate, both in Kiswahili and in English, but he wants to become the member of parliament for Ndiwa. And why would we make it possible? Because, again, of corruption. Madam Speaker, I think some of these policies, before they pass, that is why we provided issues of public participation and the National Assembly. They need to be seriously interrogated. You don't just wake up as a ministry one day and say, from today we are moving from national schools to C1. What is the mischief you are trying to cure from the old system? Madam Speaker, we are killing the smaller schools in our constituencies. Yesterday, some people came to visit me from my constituency regarding a school called Kayanja that has been doing very well. Now, one of the grades has 7 students because everybody is running to C1 and C3 schools. And then we are going to have very, very poor, education because teachers are exhausted, they are suffering burnout, while other people are making money. And beyond what Getsaido is doing, I think these are issues that I don't know whether the Committee on Education has dealt with this, Madam Speaker. But these are things that, as Parliament, sometimes we need to put our foot down. You can't have schools like Alliance having more than their fair share, simply because money must come with the number of students. We have recently seen students and arrests. And I heard Honorable Mukamias was moving a very good motion on counseling for children in schools. But why are we counseling? We are the ones who are we are the cause of the problems. We are the ones who are putting too much pressure. How can one teacher be responsible for 500 students, Madam Speaker? It's not a political rally. Those are schools, Madam Speaker. And when we have that situation, that is how we will have children who will grow up who are indisciplined, children who don't listen to anyone, children who do not care how the society is and have no values, because the values are no longer inculcated in schools. How will you be inculcating values to students who are 4,000 in one stream, Madam Speaker? I think this should actually, if you are serious as a country, this should be considered a crisis and dealt with as a crisis. And I think as Parliament, we need to put our foot down. There are too many changes that are going on that we don't understand why they are going on as a country. Explain to us before you effect them. What is the purpose of some of these changes? If something is good, don't change it. You can improve it, but don't change what is working. And whenever we try to change what is working, we create up more messes, Madam Speaker. So I want to thank Honorable Gesairo, and I hope the Ministry of Education is listening. And if they are not listening, let Parliament put its foot down and deal. And let us go back, if we need to go back to the old system, let it be so. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Honorable members, I think we can also be encouraged by the fact that motions are no longer just urging. It is resolving. So I think that is a very positive change, that has been made in Parliament. So I believe that these motions will be, after they are passed, they can be implemented. The Honorable Mdende.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to this very important motion by my colleague, Honorable Gesairo. And though he is one term and I'm two term, this is for Kenya and we stand together. I must say, for constituencies like where I come from, Mbeere North, which has been marginalized for very long, the main thing we can offer our people is education. Quality education will guarantee their success in future. Unfortunately, this is not so because of a myriad of factors, some of which are going to be addressed by this motion if adopted. One, most of our students go to C4 schools, yeah? And you find that the infrastructure in these schools, which is addressed by point number 3, is not adequate. Most schools don't even have laboratories, they don't have enough teachers, some schools don't even have enough classrooms. And it's not always that most of the students in these schools are there because of poor grades. There are some students who cannot afford these other schools and they end up in a C4 school. Imagine if you have a student who has qualified for C1, they cannot afford and they end up in a C4 and you condemn them, yeah, because of poor infrastructure. Sometimes they don't even have science teachers, and you end up messing the life of such a student. That's why I really support this motion. Point number 3, ensure the ministry, when you register a school, let it not just be to increase the number of registered schools. Let the infrastructure be sufficient. Let them have enough teachers so that if you end up with a student who has qualified for a C1 school in a C4 school, then they are guaranteed of success. And as mentioned by a member of parliament here during the contribution, there are C4 schools which are doing very well, but if you look at those schools, they have proper infrastructure. Most of them are near towns, like I have such a school in my constituency. Now, coming to capitation. So you have a school which registers very few students in terms of enrollment, and they have the same infrastructure. They need a gate man, they need a cook, they pay for electricity. So if you have few students, it means even if you get capitation, and I know most members of parliament here through bursaries, they support schools, then the school cannot even support payment of support staff. So it's important that we look at this recalibration, that's the word used in this motion, so that we don't end up with overcrowding in some schools, so they have...
Order. Honorable Gashagwa, you have a point of order?
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yeah, I wanted to request under studying order number 95, whether that we are all in agreement, whether we can maybe, Madam Speaker, request the mover to reply. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Before I check whether it's a mood of the House, I will allow the Honorable Amudende to finish.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Speaker. So, to make it short, is we need to ensure quality in our schools, quality of education, good infrastructure, so that our students do not get a road deal. And this is a bill that is, this is a motion that we actually need to support as this House, because it will help all Kenyan learners.